made this quite interesting.
Here we go. The spring split starting up right now. Who are we going to be sending to the final major of the season, and who will be our World Championship teams for OCE? Well, you can always start right here. Round one coming up, 95X. And I tell you, is it Big Rooster's team or is it Reborn? Because that's all I'm hearing from this roster.
Big Rooster's a fan favorite and a favorite of a lot of the players. And he also performed really well in the off-season tournament, the Anzac Day Invitational. So we will have a lot of eyes on him. But on the other side, you know, we've got Laxton, who's always got a lot of eyes on whether he could be the next big player in OCE. So it'll be interesting. And that's the angle. Luna getting the first.
Oh, that's beautiful. The confidence already there coming out from 95X. Vort just gets the pass downfield. Luna, Formal's favourite player, finds himself there. And well, it is 95X, as we said. Is it going to be that RLCS experience? Forget about the recency bias, the off-season tournaments. These guys have so many runs on the board against these sort of newer up-and-coming teams.
And we've got to remember they also got the Game 7 victory over Power at the end of last split, which does show that they have that kind of growth potential. They have that next level potential to take down one of the big three in the region. So you'd hope for their sake that they'd be able to at least get back to that stage where they can verse a team like that again.
I think that they've got a little bit more in them. I think you talk about their winter split performance, 95X or dumb luck previously, and you know, as you said, they had their moments, they had their opportunities. It's just how they're going to respond, how they're going to build into this winter split. You'd think the major Yummy would have to still be on their radar as a team that's going to be in contention, you know, maybe towards that second seed.
I think all the teams that have stayed together should have the major on their radar. 95X definitely included, but that being said, they have to be able to get into those top threes, those top twos that they haven't been able to break yet.
And this could be the perfect opportunity with a lot of the top teams, you know. We could say struggling at the moment. I'm not sure if they're struggling as a performance.
Struggling on paper, yeah.
On paper, yeah. The mentality, that sort of thing. You know, we've spoken to a few teams. I know you did some interviews as well last night, just trying to gauge the mindset of these players.
Yeah, none of them truly sound as confident. The biggest tell, you know, we spoke to Torsos. Oh my goodness, Laxton's just on fire, and 95X is scoring left and right. But speaking of the confidence, Torsos, the player who normally will trash talk everybody, will be so confident, even he was like, oh yeah, no, we think we're top three and we'll hopefully be regained this split. And I feel like that's the same mentality everybody has, like just a little bit more tentative than in the past.
Yeah, Torso's always someone who says, we're the best team, we're the best players, we're going to beat everyone. So maybe showing his age a little bit, you know, he's a veteran now, not quite the young.
He's 22,
you know.
Almost time to retire, CJ.
Yeah, well, you know, you start thinking about it once you get 23, but I think he's got some good splits in him to come, I'm sure. He's got mechanics still, he'll be fine. But anyway, back into this series, as we said, the confidence of these sort of players, which is the interesting one, because they're outside the top three. They were outside major contention last split, but they're also thereabouts. They weren't cracking into those top twos. They had a top four early on in the split. I think this could be an opportunity. Double Elim could suit them. You know, where am I going with this, Yummy?
Do you want me to come in and save you for a second?
I said double Elim can suit them. Then I just thought about why it would suit them, and I'm not sure. That could be open, though. Big Rooster, stop it. Stop it. Oh.
As close. But, you know, we speak of mentality as well. There's the opposite side for a team like Titans or Reborn Titans. They've got not much experience on the stream. Big Rooster, I think, has only been on RLCS stream once. Soldier and Crazy. Crazy been a couple of times. Soldier maybe once. So they don't have a lot of experience here. Mentally, you know, they're going to be losing confidence as well. And that was the big reason they had a bit of an off-season surge, is just how confident they were to go challenge, to get on the counterattack, to take the ball away from their opponents. And we haven't been seeing that in this game.
And you never know how seriously teams are taking this off-season tournaments. Obviously, everyone's playing to win, but you know, how locked in are they? We see this with, you know, the NA and EU teams as well in, you know, scrims and other tournaments. You feel like they're almost running at 50, 60%, and then game day, that RLCS, you know, as soon as they jump into the lobby, RLCS day, it's a completely different beast.
I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised you say that, CJ, because you used to win every off-season tournament and then sometimes win, sometimes lose in RLCS.
That's because I had so much fun, you know. That's the factor as well, that maybe the top teams, they think, oh, you know, it's just a bubble tournament, it's just an off-season thing, you know, on board, we're better than everyone, and then they lose. But I was always just having so much fun out there, Yummy. So that's what these bubble teams are doing. That's what Big Rooster's been doing.
Yeah.
You can't quite get it there.
It's really important, especially just to keep your motivation up. I know a couple of the big teams, the big three teams, were talking about just needing to bring that fun back, and that's why, say, a team like Ground Zero felt like they fell off as last split went on. They started strong and dipped down a little bit. They lost that fun factor.
I think for them as well, it's a bit unsustainable there, just pure motivation and grit that they had. The Super Locky story with his old team, that's obviously going to fade a little bit, but it's not fading right now for 95X. Pitch off the ceiling, over to Vortex, and that's their fifth.
This is the roof pinch from Luna, but I'm just so surprised that Vortex is that ready for it. He's like, yeah, he's going to squeeze that against the roof right out to me.
I think, geez, we got an early contender for goal of the day right there. That's a phenomenal play. And as we said, it was Reborn who got the wood over them in the off-season, but getting to the RLCS, they've really lost their punch, at least early on. I know it is game one. It is that classic warm-up copium, if you will, from some of the teams. But, I mean, how composed right now did 95X look? They just set up so early, and they don't look like conceding. They just look like scoring more and more goals.
It's over. It's virtually over. GG's go next in the chat. Look, in the off season, we saw a lot of Titans be able to play a lot more defensive. They were really good at holding the net. They kept people out, and they intercepted a lot of passes. And I guess the stream nerves possibly coming in there, getting them a little bit more keen to just go after the ball, to get on the attack, to leave their net open, and obviously it hasn't worked out for them in this game.
No, I don't even know that they've been fully aggressive or more attacking. They just haven't looked locked in as a team. They're all over the shop. They're having to make saves like this, but it's opening it up, and maybe another goal. Big Rooster. Laxton does keep it up. This could be it. Could we get a seventh right here? Rooster just wants to get on to the next game. 95X. Well, they couldn't have been more impressive, but they do this team early on in tournaments. I feel like they're either really good or really bad at the start.
I just want a little bit of a callback to the beginning where Formal was like, Big Rooster's great, Soldier's great, he's so good, and then they just get 6-0'd in the first game.
Yeah, as we said, though, it's their first time with this lineup on the mainstream on RLCS, so you know, it's a tough ask. I knew as a player as well, whenever you get told you're going to be on the mainstream and it's the first series, you're thinking, oh, come on, like, can't we just warm up a little bit, you know, off stream where no one's watching, no one to realise. So they've really been thrown to the wolves here early on for their first match on stream as a team. And well, it showed there. 95X, they know what it's like. They've been around the semi-finals before, the quarterfinals last split. So yeah, I think the experience is taking over so far.
100%. And I also felt like it was a real good team effort coming out from 95X. No one truly standing out. I felt like Laxton obviously played well, but you know, sometimes with 95X, their biggest problem is they've just got one person going and the other two aren't getting involved. Vortex sometimes just tries to go too fast, but it looks like they're playing well together at the moment. And that's going to be the biggest key for a team like 95X to go into those top sixes, those top fours in the future.
Well, usually it's Laxton, that mechanical maestro, but there we saw the roof pinch from Luna over to Vortex. So you can tell they're comfortable because it's not Laxton, that man that's just going forward, ball chasing, trying to go for these sidewall, double touch, skimmy dim sims. You know, it's his teammates. So we're seeing a lot of confidence from this lineup.
Luna has his moments for sure. You know, I still rate him. It's kind of Vortex that we're least likely to see kind of a crazy play come out from, but that's also why this team works so well is because he's going fast, he's up in the air, he's beating people, and he's taking people out of the game so that both Luna and Laxton can get those opportunities.
Now Reborn are trying this defensive style, all three sitting in net, trying to go for a counter-attack. And this could catch 95X out. We do see this often, you know, you get this high-scoring game and purely one-sided, and then get a little bit too confident. You start missing a few rotations, a few double commits, and that can let the other team back in. So let's see what Reborn can do. If they can capitalize or if 95X can settle and continue that game one form.
So far, 95X has actually played a playstyle counters that really well, and Vortex just immediately on the challenge, intercepts, and no defenders expecting it.
Yeah, just wants a hole in the defense here. Soldier rotates through the front post all the way through and just wasn't expecting Vortex to get the beat out there. Just crazy. Doesn't quite control it off the backboard, doesn't control it in defense, and that's what can happen there. 95X getting a great start. And maybe this defensive game from Reborn, when you're under pressure, Yummy, it can falter.
It's touches like that, though, that make me think that 95X is going to be great. Vortex getting the flip reset. I'm sorry for calling you out, mate.
Oh, Vortex, you said he's the man that could be a little bit iffy. Wow, he's been on fire so far in this series. Flip reset off the sidewall. So much time. No one challenging there from Reborn. And straight away off the kickoff again. 2-0 lead. Well, it is game 2. I know it's best of 5, Yummy, but it's not looking too crash court right now for the new fellas.
I'll tell you what as well, when it comes to 95X, Vortex hasn't let me kind of make my point across, but against a team that's playing very defensive, they've been very good at getting touches back to your teammates, not trying to rush towards the net and sort of deliver the ball. And so I actually think this defensive playstyle is the worst thing Titans could be doing.
I'm fully with you as well. When you're trying to gain confidence, you know, it's the RLCS, as you said, it's not an off-season tournament. There's got to be more nerves, more pressure. The mechanics aren't going to be, you know, as on point as sort of regular scrims or tournaments. You want to be that offensive team. You always talk about it yourself as well. If you're feeling nervous, go for some freestyle plays, go for some solo plays, and just get yourself into the game. But if you're always sitting in net, you know, playing that 3-man defense, it's just going to build that pressure and not allow you to warm up. Right now, obviously, we're seeing a little bit more of an attack, but not quite seeing the mechanics. Perhaps a pass play across. That could be the opportunity to take down, but it's just going to roll straight in. That is going to be Reborn's first goal of the series.
And they've made 2 adjustments here. The first one being that they've started by going for a lot of demos, playing really fast, and right now slowing it down for that infield pass, catching them off guard when they were expecting a faster play.
For the first time, we saw 95X on defense, and they're digging into a little bit of trouble there. Big Rooster, lovely rotation off the kickoff. Johnny Boy will be happy with that one. Finding his way to the back post, but 95X, they want to get another goal. Yeah, Johnny, he loves a bit of OCE. He's always hanging around on every stream, every server, every region, but that one could just be down the other end. Big Rooster playing a bit of a 3rd-man role right now. We saw off the kickoff from there again. 95X pushing forward. Shot comes out. Crazy. Triple commit. Big Rooster gets faked out. Soldiers there. Reborn hanging on, but they need to get it down the other end as well.
Starting to get a little bit more tense. And Vortex, the man of the hour. 3 goals from 3 shots.
Just a great beat out there. Vortex goes bang. Laxton just with a presence on the backboard as well. Big Rooster couldn't quite get the touch. It was Reborn just finding a way. That was scrambling in defense, but you can't do that for 3 successive plays. And 95X, they just wore them down in the end, getting that 2-goal buffer again.
It's tough. They were in a close position. It felt like they were even potentially able to score, but the one chance that 95X has got each time it's been scored on by Vortex, it's been 100% accurate in this second game. And that's really important to see because Vortex, I feel like of all the players on this 95X roster, he's been the one to feel like he doesn't quite perform as well on game day as he does outside of the game day.
I think you'll be hoping you call him out before every game because if he gets hat-tricks like this, MVP performance, already 550 points as well, he's going to take that every day of the week, and I'm sure his teammates love him stepping up as well. It's not just Laxton going for the solo plays. It's not just Luna sort of holding down the midfield. When he's stepping up...
It's like if you have that CJ player in your team, that guy who's kind of just... His goal is to build space. His goal is to be a nuisance, but then all of a sudden he's scoring tons of goals left and right. It makes it feel so much easier, and it also brings the morale up. All of a sudden you're going, yeah, pop off, Vortex King.
Yeah, they're like, go on, old man. Anyway, but that was more my story. Look at Vortex. It's good to like this is peak 95X right here when all of them are performing as we said, and that's I guess what happened in my team as well. When I was performing, we played pretty well. this is what could we see this sort of a lineup here with Vortex performing, crack into that top 3, beating the best teams in the region? I think they can certainly give them a crack, have a go at them, because Reborn can't find a way through. And, well, this is looking every part of a sweep. Luna does backflip, can't quite get the touch, but they're just killing time off the clock right here, right now.
Well, it reminds me almost of Vortex's first top 4 when it was with Bliss, I think at the end of season 21-22. They got that top 4, but it was off Vortex having a massive, massive performance. And you could be seeing a very similar story here. Can 95X be that team to challenge the top, maybe, to get into that position, to get the top 6, the top 4s in the future?
They can't be doing any better right now. They've only conceded 1 goal in the first 2 games here. I know, it's Reborn Titans. This isn't exactly a top major contending team, but we don't know yet. We don't know who those teams are. As we said, there's been a lot of roster changes, new teams forming. We're yet to sort of find out that 5th, 6th team even in this, or how these top teams have managed this off season, if they've been practicing, how their form is coming into this first regional. So it is up for grabs, anyone's game. I love the element of the unknown. Right now, we're finding more and more about 95X and how they can handle, I guess, this first regional, how strong they're coming into it.
Well, I feel like, I'm never making a strong statement coming into a split ever again. The expectations here is still that there's a big 3 teams heading to the major. But if anything, I predicted Power would win every single event of last split, and they didn't even make a single top 4. So I'm not really going to have a good idea of how things going, how well Reborn Titans might go, but I guess this is the first indicator.
I can't believe when you say that about Power as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about them later on. I don't want to talk about it, but it is crazy to think that they are the number 6 seed coming into this first regional after being, almost top 8 in the world in the winter split in Rotterdam. So, or in the fall split, should I say? So, it's incredible. Anything can happen here, and that's what we said at the start of the show. That's what gets us excited about these first regionals, is that we just don't know how these teams are performing. We don't know how they're going to perform under pressure. Can these new teams deal with the RLCS stage? For Reborn, we're not quite seeing it just yet. That could be to discredit this 95X lineup, because they have played pretty well so far.
I think they've played amazingly. Have Vortex step up to be a major player in game 2, or 3 of them contributing in game 1. All very good signs both ways that they'll be able to have a good performance. So I guess even still, it doesn't give a true idea of how Reborn Titans are going to be landing at the end of the event. And it's the advantage of having a double elim. Though, if they do lose this, they will get extra chances.
They're just setting up so well as well, this team. I know it is only Series 1, but they just look so composed on the pitch. They're not throwing themselves away. We're not seeing the double commits. And right now, Reborn, they're getting a little bit desperate. What a drop down pass. 4 can't pull it off the crossbar. Laxton gets the follow-up. Maybe a flip reset.
No way.
In. That's the mechanical maestro that we know and love, Laxton.
Oh, you thought it was over, and Laxton had to thread it through multiple people and get the flip reset, but he's got hands of steel, doesn't shake whatsoever, and finds the gap.
Phenomenal play. I'm trying to talk about maybe Reborn changing things up here in this final, potentially deciding game, but 95X, they've got other ideas. Laxton has other ideas, and again, we're just seeing Reborn, they're positioning their structure, the way they're setting up, it's just a little bit sloppier. There's a lot of gaps right now in that second to third man spot, and they haven't found a way to patch it yet.
One thing that is going for Reborn is that they do have, they're down 2 games, they're down a goal. It's that time that you can throw everything, throw the kitchen sink and try something out and see if you can bring that confidence back.
Almost an opportunity there. Blocked out in the front of the goals, and 95X, they gave them a chance to get back into that one. It was that pinch, I guess the 50-50 that almost found the back of the net, and maybe this bounce as well. Big Rooster gets a huge beat out. Laxton's last man can't make the save. Crazy reads it off the backboard. Lovely read from Crazy as well. He got that originally challenge after being bumped. Big Rooster uses the roof, causes a lot of confusion for Laxton, and it's a good read to finish that one off. So suddenly, Reborn Titans back in it. In this game, and potentially back in this series. There's a long way to go, as we said, best of 5. And, well, that is only their second goal so far of the series. Luna's in a little bit of trouble as well. We're just seeing the kitchen sink being thrown in here from Reborn. It's almost working right now as 95X have to recompose. That could be open if the redirect comes on, and it does. Luna finds her way through. Reborn a little bit too happy with their offense, Gunny.
Yeah. They threw the kitchen sink, and then they also took the countertop. They threw the fridge. They threw everything at it.
They just renovated the whole thing.
Yeah, there was nothing left in the kitchen to defend the net, I guess.
Oh, there was as we said, the second, third man is an issue that's plagued the Oceanic region for a while. These younger teams, they just sort of forget how to, send someone back just to watch those long clears, those passes down the line. And we saw it again here. Laxton could get bumped.
No.
He does dodge it, however. The double 50-50 and gets the follow-up and the flick. 95X find a way out, but that was a golden opportunity.
I want to know what happened to Crazy there, because Laxton essentially paused right in front. He was looking so demoable, and I feel like Crazy kind of faked himself out on the demo.
He almost didn't believe in himself to get the touch. Rooster might be able to get a drop down. A Soldier shot on net. Double touch from Soldier. Well, is this the Scrimvitational Reborn we've been waiting to see?
That's beautiful. Big Rooster getting that forward. Soldier marching up into the net. And wow, double to tie it up.
Beautiful camera angle on that as well. Just how fast that double touch was. He couldn't have put it any lower. It would have gone bar down, and any higher, he might not have got back for the double touch. So perfect play from Soldier. And almost another opportunity again here. Reborn, the kitchen sink, the renovations have come in, but they've been completed. They're pushing forward again, and they're finding another opportunity. Big Rooster gets the third on the board.
And they're fighting all these infield passes. It was an infield pass to set up Crazy here. He uses the backboard to get it across. Big Rooster playing so synergistically. He was playing a close spot so he could beat out the defender to that ball.
Reborn out of nowhere, conceding or scoring 2 goals so far for the series. All of a sudden, they're in the lead, 3-2 up. And perfect opportunity to get back into this game. I'm loving the solo plays, the mechanics. I'm starting to see what we saw in the qualifiers, what we saw in the off-season. But is it going to be that second man that's going to let them down again? Big Rooster getting a little bit too excited. Pass off the wall, faked out. Laxton gets beaten out by Crazy. Reborn now, picking up the speed.
Two-pronged attack that's working so well for them as well.
Yep.
They're hitting the backboard a lot, but then they've got the infield passes. And while 95X are stacking the net, are looking for that backboard touch, they're actually building a lot of room for those infield passes to be more effective. And it's been a real economical and strategical game coming out from Reborn Titans.
They're beating out 95X to the ball as well. Another shot on net, and we're not seeing that composed 95X that we saw in the first 2 games here. They're starting to look a little bit more rattled. Laxton might be able to do something. Chain dash off the ceiling, flip reset, fakes it underneath, gets the pass across. Luna, though, he's a little bit too close to follow it up.
And play out of defense, and I want to see a little bit of time wasting coming from Big Rooster, and he's done brilliantly with that. The double 50 to get it forward. 0 boost on Soldier, but again, they just want to waste a bit of time. But have they left a gap in their own defense?
Vortex now gets to push it forward. 20 seconds on the clock. This could be the equalizer. Is anyone there to follow up, Yummy? Surely someone can put that ball away. But 95X can't find a way through. 13 on the clock.
And Vortex just ran out of boost. You can see he was millimeters away to score that goal, equalize it, and take us back into overtime. But here we go, 3 seconds left. Soldier trying to just get that ball to the ground. He's even going for the bumps. He takes Luna out, and Reborn Titans get their first game on stream.
They almost gave it up, but they do find a way. We're not going to see the sweep. Can we see a game 5? That's the Reborn Titans that we know. Well, we don't really know much about
that we don't know.
We don't know and love. We do love them, but we don't know about them. But we are finding out a little bit more in that game number 3. Laxton started off strong for 95X. But then, as we said, the renovations came in. They just replaced the kitchen, the living room. They bought a new house. Reborn Titans changed it up. They found a way back into this series.
Just a lot more confidence to go forward as well. That was so important for them because, they struggled with the defense. For all of last game, they felt very tentative, but now they put 95X into a really awkward spot in their own defense, always having to worry about the ball going over the top of their heads, getting a little bit of confusion out, breaking the rotations there, and making it look a lot easier for themselves.
And 95X in the first two games, they looked so settled that nothing could really phase them. But there was almost this switch. I'm not sure if it was all of Reborn Titans. I think it was maybe part Reborn Titans changing up, getting a little bit more aggressive. But also, it almost thought like, 95X were thinking, all right, this is the last game. Let's lock it down. Let's get the win. And then they started thinking about it a little bit. They started just losing that composure and throwing the ball away, tossing it to the corner, just clearing the ball. And that let Reborn Titans right into this. They gained the confidence. And maybe they can carry this into game number 4.
I definitely think it's a bit of both, because I think you want to look at Big Rooster and the way that he started playing and how he's pre-jumping everything and just kind of going without any fear. And he is that kind of player you want to see going up for everything and creating a little bit of space and a little bit of confusion.
And you saw it right at the start of game number 3 as well. He just pushed forward and grabbed their corner boost, which is something we hadn't seen Reborn do at all. They were setting up, playing that 3-man defense. He changed it up. Laxton almost finds the opportunity, but as we said, Reborn, they are just picking up the mechanics. They're growing in confidence, and that's enabling their defense to make some big saves.
I also just want to give a little update on the bracket that all of our big 3 teams have immediately gone through with 3 O's, and it's looking like a lot of 3 O's across the board too.
I think that's what we'd like to see, especially as you said, in a double elim. Let's get the best teams playing each other later on in the tournament. But right now, we don't know who the best team is right here. That was a crazy touch coming out from Vortex to parry that one to the side. 95X under a little bit of pressure. Reborn, they have all the boost and the control. The demos could help 95X on the attack. Or is that just going to be open? Can Laxton get to it? He just does.
He had to really stretch for that one. Couldn't go for anything more than just a touch to get it out. And it has led to some extra pressure here with Big Rooster looking for the shot. He goes wide. He had the bump support, so if he got it on target, it was in.
Soldier again, just not believing in his own bump, not fully committing to it, just sort of, putting a hand up, putting a body in the in their offense, but not quite getting the touch. We still got a tie ball game. Rooster sets up as well, gets the pass downfield. Soldiers gets shot on net. Laxton's surprised by that one. Does put it to the side, however.
Laxton's had to just go for some quick touches over and over again. This time he does a lot better and gets it into a position for his team to follow up. But now it goes the other way. Quick play coming out from Big Rooster. Forces a double commit. But Crazy wasn't there to follow up.
And Vortex panicking as well. He had the 100 boost in the corner, but he just threw it downfield. He could have gone for the solo play. 95X looking a little bit more rattled now. They're not keeping the ball. They're not keeping composed and forcing these double commits in defense is Reborn, pushing forward. They're looking the better team here in Game 4.
95X look panicked into defense. The number of double commits they've had in the last few seconds, the amount of times that they've just panic jumped for a ball has been crazy. And a double commit coming out from Soldier and Big Rooster, but that's almost to their credit, the way that they've been playing without fear.
They turned it into a demo as well, so they still found a way to get value off that double commit. Big Rooster does pre-jump the play. Laxton pushing forward, blocked out again. This could be opportunity, maybe a pass down at Laxton. Crazy gets the touch just in time. And that ball to the side should see at least Reborn setting up somewhat, but a great 50 from Luna keeps it in this orange half.
I really like that from Luna. He threatens that he's passing it across, sees that the challenger is coming out, so he makes sure he wins the 50. Crazy and Big Rooster taking each other out. It's really on Crazy there. Big Rooster was trying to set up a touch. So the defense still not as steady for Reborn Titans, but for neither team that's been the case. So whoever gets the advantage to be in the attacking half, to be putting the pressure on their opponents, is most likely to come out on top here.
I mentioned it before as well, but we're just not seeing 95X keep the ball and have that composure we saw in the first two games. They're not willing to go for those solo plays, the dribbles when they have time. Vortex, this is a perfect opportunity now if he can do that, get a solo play, perhaps a flip reset, follow up. Almost comes through. That's what we need to see. Crazy going for the demos down the other end, causes Luna to cut. Now they're in trouble. Laxton get a shot on, blocked out in time. Crazy's there as well. Reborn hang on, but that's better from 95X.
Their goal line defense has really stepped up. But on the same note, when you talk about 95X and how they're not taking as much control, in those first two games, they were touching the ball back to each other a lot more like this. They were hitting each other on the nose. They were keeping possession for so much of the play, and that's not happening so much in these two games.
Yeah, Rooster's in big trouble to miss. This should be an open net. Crazy huge save. Luna follows.
Oh
Big
my!
Rooster for Big Boy. Big Jook saves it in net.
How's he done that? He's absolutely huge, and he's saved the game.
Oh,
He's done it again. Big Rooster in the defense is immense.
This is enormous here. The big bird is just finding a way to keep it out of Reborn's net. 95X still pushing forward, but this must be frustrating right now. Vortex shot on net. Guess who again? The turkey. Oh, this is clucking crazy.
Oh, that's 5 saves in a row, and it's still a 0-all game. He hasn't even got them the win with that. In fact, it's in. Lax with 5 seconds remaining, finds that one time. The big Rooster's not in the net.
Oh, the big fella just couldn't reach that one. He's exhausted. He had no feathers left.
Oh, he's been purely plucked out like that goal. And maybe the chances here. This might even be a kickoff.
Oh, 95X. That might have been the best defense I've ever seen for the past 25 seconds from Reborn. But it was 95X to get the win. 3-1. They lock it down. Well, we saw what the big bird could do that last 40 seconds there in net, but
just into the last moment. But he could have played like that for the other 14 minutes and 40 seconds.
It was too little too late. He was just worn out. He was done. That was phenomenal. Double save after double save. What a finish to the first series of this spring split.
It was amazing turnaround. Great defense coming out for more. I'm sure you are happy as well watching once again your prediction being absolutely atrocious.
You say atrocious, but it was the only game out of all of them to not be a clean sweep, right? Like, it's the only one that went to a game 4, so that has to be some credit.
I was super wrong, but at least I was as wrong as if I predicted badly in another series.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, it is different. CJ said it at the start. It's always different when it comes to RLCS time, and you should expect, the veterans to kind of rise up. But for a team first time playing on that RLCS stream, that defense that we saw at the end, they're just a couple lucky bounces away, I think, from, taking it to game 5. And that's where a team like 95X would have imploded.
I mean, they had fantastic defense, but you have to score goals down the other end. It's one thing to save it out. And, it was great to see, we spoke about 95X. Game 1 and 2, they looked fantastic. They started to think about winning, perhaps. Reborn, changed it around. We saw the big Rooster grabbing boost, looking for those bumps, crazy as well. And then they looked a bit rattled. But then second half of that final game, they just recomposed, found that offense again, went for more solo plays, and they just mechanically, had that edge over them.
We were going to think a lot about that as last 30 seconds, but for most of that last game, it really felt like Reborn Titans had the more control. They were making sure that 95X were a little less composed overall. So it did feel like they were going to get that win until, I guess, it turned the other way.
I'd love to see a montage of Big Rooster that final 40 seconds because that was ridiculous. He was just pre-jumping top corner. He'd just land on the ball, find himself in net again. I think he made 7 saves in the space of 25 seconds. That was fun to watch.
We kind of need to see a little bit more of that, but in a controlled manner. It's a perfect series for Reborn Titans to go back and look at this week, and because they had a lot of double commits. There were often times that Big Rooster would be sitting and waiting for the ball, and say Crazy would come in and take the ball away, or Soldier would come in, and how do you want to play? I feel like you want Big Rooster to be just going as quick and whenever you want, and actually figure out how to play around that rather than everybody trying to go and throw the kitchen sink.
Well, would that just be a case of them being nervy, I suppose, because, opening games,
they weren't doing that at the start.
Screen.
It was a clear adjustment that they made to try and send people forward, to send people at the ball. And they just didn't have that as a plan. They haven't practiced that.
Well, I mean, they do have a whole split to kind of get that, piece it together, and then get going in the future. For us right now, though, we are going to be going to a break. When we come back, we're going to continue in that upper bracket with round 2 when we return.